Hey my lovely people, ex-insomniac here. Today I'm going to be reacting to an oldie but a goodie video called New Help for Chronic Insomnia. Let's go.
For more than a decade, Sylvia Bork had trouble sleeping. She says getting ready for bed was filled with anxiety.
I became very frantic because I was thinking, well, right away, wow, like night is coming again and I will see the ceiling for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, so this is real super common when you've got insomnia, that fear about the night approaching. And so what has happened here is you've had so many nights in the past where you've laid in bed fighting sleep, forcing sleep, pleading with sleep. Even just the thought of going to bed is enough to create a huge amount of anxiety, a fight or flight stress response. And so it's because sleep has now become incredibly unpredictable, incredibly unregular. So it's not like when you've got insomnia, you never sleep. You do sleep, you just never know when it's going to come. The nights are punctuated full of loads and loads of wakefulness, and so this is where that fear and anxiety stems from, but it can definitely be overcome and treated. And in fact, in this video I'm going to give you a few pointers at the end to help you do that.
Charles Morin of Laval University in Quebec, Canada, says there is more than one type of insomnia.
Some people can have trouble falling asleep at bedtime, others have problems with maintaining sleep, and still other people just wake up in the morning and they complain of not feeling refreshed.
I think this kind of definition of insomnia, either trouble staying asleep, getting asleep, waking up early in the morning, is a real kind of narrow definition of what insomnia is. And I don't think it really matters what type of insomnia you've got. I kind of think, who cares? You know, if it's taking you ages to fall asleep or you're waking up multiple times throughout the night, the causes are still the same and the treatment is still the same. And when it's kind of defined just like this, oh, it's just trouble sleeping, this is kind of scratching the surface of insomnia. Insomnia is far more than that. It's that anxiety, obsession, control around sleep. It's that fear of the bed and the bedroom. It's worrying about nighttime approach, and it's limiting your life because of the condition. And so it's always defined in this way: trouble getting asleep, staying asleep, blah blah blah. But it's way more than that, and I think it does need to be kind of looked at more as a kind of an OCD problem, obsession problem, fear problem, and it needs to be treated as such, because if you don't treat it in this way, it doesn't really get to the root cause of what insomnia is.
Morin says finding a long-term treatment for insomnia has been difficult. Many patients become dependent on sleep medications and they can lose their effectiveness. So, Morin conducted a study of 160 adults with chronic insomnia. For the first 6 weeks, patients underwent treatment called cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps these patients relax.
And that's so good. You know what? Number one, it's not a new treatment, and number two, it's not CBT. CBT is very different from CBTi. It's a whole completely different field, and it's far more than just helping people relax. People with insomnia are already doing loads of relaxation techniques and nostril breathing techniques and all the other nonsense. So it's far deeper than relaxation. It's about changing your thought patterns, rewiring the brain, and crucially rebuilding your pattern of sleep. So it's a real oversimplification there, but anyway, whatever. Okay, let's go. Let's move on.
At the same time, they took a popular sleep medication called Zolpidem. Zolpidem is sold under the brand name Ambien in many parts of the world. Again, Charles Morin.
The most surprising finding was that when you treat insomnia with a combined approach using both CBT and medication, you might be tempted to continue this approach over the long term. But what we found here is that after a few weeks, it is best if you discontinue the medication and you just continue with CBT.
During the study,
and I think that's kind of like, yeah, I mean, that's good advice. Nobody wants to be taking sleeping tablets. They want to be getting that healthy, natural sleep. But it's always kind of presented that, well, just stop taking sleeping pills, but when you've got insomnia and they're kind of the only thing that give you an escape from the bed and the bedroom, of course you're going to want to take them. So really, it's not about stopping taking them. It's more about getting to the place where you're so confident in your innate ability to sleep that you no longer feel that you need to take them. And I think there's a lot of loads of professionals in sleep, because they've never had insomnia, they take things very kind of black and white. Oh, just, sleeping pills aren't good if you stop taking them. Well, yeah, I know that, piss off. Can you actually give me some help and stuff that works and get me to the pace where, that is now a choice where I don't feel I need to. A little rant there. Anyway, let's move on.
Participants maintained a routine. Their time in bed was limited. They got up at the same time every day, periodically checked into sleep laboratory, and kept a diary.
Right, okay. So limiting your time in bed, that's called bedtime restriction. Very, very helpful to very quickly rebuild your pattern of sleep. So when you've got insomnia, people will increase the amount of time that they spend in bed. Incredibly natural to do that, because they think the longer they spend in bed, the greater likelihood there is of sleep happening. What happens is the brain takes on a really poor quality fragmented pattern of sleep when you do this, and you spend a huge amount of time in bed awake, which leads you to be in bed awake, fighting sleep, getting angry about not sleeping, forcing sleep to come, and it kind of backfires. So it sounds incredibly counterintuitive, but in the first instance, the less opportunity you give yourself to sleep, the better sleep you get, the better sleep quality you get. And that's not where you want to leave people, but it's really kind of like a first kind of intervention to rebuild your pattern of sleep, rebuild something which is called the sleep trap, which you'll find loads on my other channel, all my other videos on my channel. But yeah, real great first step. And that kind of nonsense where people go to sleep labs and they get wired up, and you just think, well, how helpful is this? Because when you've got insomnia, you're already terrified of the bed, and then people are going to you, it's okay, just have a normal night of sleep and let's see what goes on here. Let me just glue these wires onto your head. Just relax. And you just think, well, this isn't replicating what normal sleep is. And so I think the value of these overnight sleep labs are massively overblown. Really, I think they're great for two things: making people lots of money and causing lots of anxiety around sleep. But I don't actually think you get very good data when it comes to insomnia from booking yourself into a sleep lab, because there's so much pressure to sleep because you paid all that money for it. You're going to have a crap night of sleep no matter what. Let's move on.
Behavioral therapy was extended for 6 months. Cognitive behavioral therapy still works for Sylvia Bork.
If you continue with medication, then people are less likely to invest time and efforts in changing their sleep habits.
Cognitive behavioral therapy still works for Sylvia Bork when she wakes up in the middle of the night.
The next day I will get up and I will be fresh again, and it's just my attitude changed.
It's kind of showing that, well, number one, CBTi is the gold standard treatment, but I think CBTi, it kind of hasn't moved on for the past probably 40, 50 years. I think the grounding of CBTi is great, but I think that it can be massively improved. Check all my other videos for how to do it properly, but some real basics to actually help that you can use tonight to help you sleep. Spend less time in bed, wake up at the same time every single day. If you're getting anxious and stressed and worried in bed, either leave the bed in the bedroom or stay in the bed and read a book. Incredibly helpful things to do. But yeah, hope this video is helpful to you, and I'll see you on the next one.